This is R.Lee Ermey, better known as Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. I am listening to the Rick and Bubba Show. Two fine, outstanding young American heart chargers.
It is 6 minutes past the hour of the Rick and Bubba Show. This hour of the Rick and Bubba Show is brought to you in part by Blinds.com. Now, we know the big box home centers make sense for some things, but they never make sense for custom blinds. Shades, shutters, or drapes. So easy, even head producer Speedy was able to do it. So go to Blinds.com and find out more. Go to rickandbubba.com and check the sponsors button. Bubba, America's at a crossroads, and one of the things that has kind of been a running theme here on the program is where are the candidates that those of us that know what made America great, where are those candidates that represent what America once was? And now that we're at this crossroads, whether we're going to take the road to a soft tyranny, socialistic government, or are we going to try to return to the original intent of the Founding Fathers, we are searching for those candidates, and we believe we have found one in Lieutenant Colonel Allen West.
We first heard of Lieutenant Colonel Allen West through some of his sound bites on the Internet, and he was certainly saying the things that we believe in and we wanted to hear, and we wanted to meet him and introduce him to a lot of you folks in the audience, too. So we have Lieutenant Colonel Allen West with us. Mr. West, thank you for being here, and thank you, first off, for your service to the country.
Well, great. Good morning to you, Rick and Bubba, and it's really an honor to be with you guys. And, you know, I'm just honored that you would have a University of Tennessee graduate on your show being broadcast out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Well, you know what? It's funny. There's a lot of fun with all those rivalries, and we do have a great time with them. But, you know, Lieutenant Colonel, tell us a little bit about the Allen West story. How did you end up in the military? And talk a little bit about that. And we want to hear. We've read a lot about you, but we wanted to hear it from you and go directly to the guy.
Well, you know, I was born and raised over in Atlanta, Georgia. As a matter of fact, my father was born in Ozark, Alabama, and jumped the Chattahoochee River over to Georgia, and he and my mother moved up to Atlanta. My dad was a World War II veteran. My mother was a civilian, worked for the United States Marine Corps District in Atlanta. My older brother was a Vietnam Marine. And so it was just, the course was set for me. And as they said, that there's no greater thing than to serve your country and to give back to your country. And now my young nephew is also a captain in the United States Army, continuing that on. So I think that whole commitment to service and sacrifice for this great nation is what has made me who I am today.
Colonel West, we want to get into the politics of things in the country, but I did want to touch, because I thought it was such an interesting story about the end of your military career and how all of that came about.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know, I was a battalion commander in the 4th Infantry Division over in Iraq in 2003. We got, a hit that there was an Iraqi policeman kind of feeding some information to the bad guys. We had seen a little spike in our ambushes. We were able to bring the guy in. He was very belligerent and giving information to the two female interrogators that we had assigned to our artillery battalion. And not wanting to risk the lives of my men for another day, I went down, took it upon myself to, tell him that if he didn't give us the information that we required, we'd take him out and shoot him. He played around with me, so we went outside, and I fired my 9mm Beretta across the back of his head to a clearing barrel, and then he gave us some information that helped us quell things in that area of operations. Of course, I reported myself. I was taken out of man. We went through a hearing. It was decided it was not worthy of court-martial, so I was fined $5,000. And when I got back from Iraq, I went ahead and retired from the Army after 22 years of service.
You know, Colonel West, it's just, I guess it's me and other folks. And my father was in World War II also, so we have a great respect for military and the justice and law and order and following commands. But, you know, I guess to me and a lot of just common sense Americans, what you did would be something we ought to do every day to get information.
Well, this is the problem. When you have people that don't understand the 21st century battlefield and they're worried about fighting this thing with political correctness and rules of engagement that hinder our soldiers. You know, when I was commissioned back in 1982 as a young second lieutenant, My dad and my older brother told me that there's one thing that you have a commitment to, and that is to take care of the men entrusted under your command and make sure that you protect them. And so that has always been the guiding philosophy for me as a young officer and future later on a battalion commander. And I think that that is also the type of philosophy we need to have in Washington, D.C., whereby people are not worried about their self-interest, but worried about the American interest.
Well, talk to us a little bit about that on the political front. You served us well in the military, and now you're wanting to volunteer your time to serve us in Washington, and you do represent District 22, and it's unfortunate we can't vote for you, but we may anyway. You know, I mean, I may fly down there and cast a few, but
if you join Acorn, you can fly anywhere across the country and vote for anyone you want.
Well, you know, we heard you talking, and you know, we cover a lot of ground. The show is syndicated, and you know, people who listen in that part of the country or near there. You know, can get it different ways. But when I look at District 22 and I hear your convictions, I'm seeing places like West Palm Beach. Are you being received very well there?
Oh, absolutely. It's a fantastic reception that we're getting from the people down here. The calendar is always busy. This district runs from Fort Lauderdale all the way pretty much up the coast to Jupiter Inlet, which is just north of West Palm Beach. And it comes west a little bit. And the thing is, you know, we're really starting to get a national level appeal whereby people that understand that I can be a direct representative of the folks down here, but I can be a voice for all Americans. And so we're getting a lot of hits to our website, which is GoWest2010.com, a lot of contributions to our campaign from all across the country. You know, our contribution is 98% individual and only 2% from, you know, other groups, you know, being it military type of groups that are coming to understand who we are.
Tell us a little bit about when you go to Washington. What platforms are you running on there in District 22?
Well, I think the two most important things we have to look at is fiscal security and physical security. Right now, it's too much of the